Okay, we're live on our YouTube channel. You want to do a mic check over there?
Hello.
Oh yeah, you're doing good.
So this is YouTube.
Yeah, this is another version of the Topeka Factor, and that's the YouTube is the one with the on the left-hand side. Now I'll get us live on Facebook.
Yeah, I've got to do that.
So YouTube, thank you for tuning in. If anybody's watching, good morning. Another version of the Topeka Factor with Henry McClure here and my dear friend Marshall Barber.
Facebook Live. Once again, as is usually the case on Wednesday morning, it's time for another thrilling edition of the Topeka Factor, in which we discuss in excruciating detail some of the events and trends pertinent to living in the greater Topeka in biota, as well as the world in general.
Biota?
Yeah, the Topeka biosphere.
Hey, did
Look
you
at
see,
it. Look at
did
this
you
now.
see my new shirt?
We're going to start this morning with a little fashion note.
If anybody drives up right now and makes a donation of over $100, I'll give you a shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are the new
3625 Southwest 29th Street, the Glass Houses Studio.
These are pullover shirts, sports fans.
I'm working on a sign. That's your shirt.
Yeah. You're going to give me a shirt?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a shirt.
I'm kind of fumbling around with the handheld.
I imagine you
here.
fumbled around with a lot of shirts.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's pull this back so we can see it. Want to say good morning to my friend Chuck Hanna, who's watching.
Hey Chuck, good morning.
Speaking of fashion accessories,
tell me.
I'm going to flip this around so Chuck
white
and other people,
white dudes for Harris,
who I know share his predilections, can see my.
What does it matter what color you are?
White dudes for Harris ball cap.
What, Matt? What color? Why does it matter what color you are?
And Henry was supposed to be wearing a Trump ball
cap.
I'll
get it. I love Trump.
So we can.
Not everybody does.
So we can demonstrate that even people who are on opposite sides of a lot of political things can still get together and unify.
You got to be careful about taking a shot with Trump.
Shut up. Yeah.
Oh, man. Did you see Barron, his son? His son's going to start marketing some stuff on X.
Oh, really?
I mean, the kid's like, I don't know, 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah,
he's a big boy.
Yeah. He's a tall drink of water, as they used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, hey, good morning.
Yes, it is. It's Wednesday, and you have been to the Tuesday evening.
Yes, I was
City
there.
Council meeting.
And
what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I want to talk about.
By the way, let's not forget to talk about the church building at Huntoon and Medford.
Yes, we're going to
Orthodox church building.
We're going to do a lot of real estate today about the church and the listing on 10th and Topeka. But I want to tell you, I want to take a minute and thank Jim Clausman.
Okay.
No, seriously, this is his turn. And
what are we thanking Jim Clausman for?
Well, he wrote a check for $167,000.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. It's he's writing it today, and he's paying back taxes on Lawrence Bay.
Wow.
And he asked me to come out to the office, sit down with him, and he said that the Topeka Factor was putting a hitch in his get-along over his dealings with the city.
Okay.
And what was really wild last night that I just couldn't see, no matter what happens, the guy's writing a check for $167,000.
To Shawnee County.
Yeah, fine. We collected the taxes. Now he's going to come forward with a plan to do an RHID out there.
Okay.
And what a better guy. You know, he's got the wherewithal to follow through on the project, right? So, and you know what I say, the back taxes are due to the fact, I'm sorry, I was looking at Rich Eckert in my mind.
Okay.
Not Ichabod Washburn. But the fact that the county councilor, the treasurer, and the county commission hadn't collected the back taxes.
Right.
And even if they gave Jim a pass, that's not Jim's fault.
Correct.
So I want to become a county commissioner to make sure that we can fix that hitch. And my point is, and I think sometimes people just don't understand the way I tick. So let's look at Shawnee County like a mall. And if you've got people that aren't paying their taxes, that's like a vacancy, right? It's it's like a delinquent person. Well, you terminate their lease.
Someone in a mall who's not paying their lease.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so if I take that mall mentality that probably will never go away in my life, no matter what, because brick and mortar malls will come back. They'll come back as a completely different thing. They'll come back as a mixed use project. But the point is, if they're not paying their way, you got to turn the space over.
Okay.
And so
The analogy to
if you're
vacant
not,
lots being
yeah,
what?
So if the inventory isn't turned over, not available, not on the auction list, it's never going to get occupied. So whatever rent or whatever payment you make at the auction, it's better than negative, because you're not making any money on it today. And if a guy buys a lot for $1, well, you got $1.
Right.
You can't base it on the value.
And you've got somebody that's theoretically on the hook for new property taxes?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And so over time, if you just keep turning them over, even if the next guy didn't pay, well, if you just auction them in every year that there's money owed based on the policy, 1 year for vacant land, 2 years for commercial building, and 3 years for homestead.
1 year for vacant land.
Yeah, vacant land. So it's on the list every year. If the taxes are owed, you put it on the list, you auction them off, boom. You don't sit on anything. Here's what Rich Eckert's trying to do. He's trying to play Swami of the market. And
Rich Eckert, by the way, is the county councilor when
yeah,
that
but
comes up. I want to say hi real quick to our good friends B.J. McGivern, Warner Lewis.
Hey, B.J.
And to Matt Mezak up there in Detroit.
Well,
where we think we've got vacant houses in Topeka. Well, we've got a very small village of vacant houses compared to what they have up there.
But we got to give BJ the opportunity to make deals on the inventory. And we need to have every real estate person engaged in turning over the real estate. But if it's not available, it's like the vacuum cleaner salesman. You knock on the door. You don't want to buy a vacuum, do you?
I don't.
Yeah. And then the guy leaves. Well, if we don't have the inventory available, you'll never have the opportunity to buy it.
Okay.
So we just turn it over. It's policy.
Okay.
And it's not based on I don't want the idea of having a land bank is not a good idea to me, because the land bank didn't work out here for the citizens on the land that I sold to go to Topeka. And the reason,
where is that land?
That land is at 49th Street and Highway 75. Here's Topeka Boulevard.
I see.
So I was trying to be the developer to create a private-public partnership. And I had no success out there. And what Go Topeka did was they waited me out, and but 18 years that sat vacant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 18 years that has sat vacant. So I want to have, I would rather have the Topeka Board of Realtors working on that land instead of Go Topeka. What we need to do is we need to take that $5 million that we allot to Go Topeka and just put it into infrastructure. And then either the city or the county needs to hire an economic development person. And well, why not have it be Molly today? Because she's done it.
We don't have an economic development person.
Well, not per se. I mean, in the city, we've got Spencer Duncan.
He's a city council person.
Yeah, I know, but he thinks he looks at himself as a very entrepreneurial fella. He's a good guy.
He ran for mayor, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think he did.
Against who?
This was a couple terms back. I'm not sure who he ran against. Whoever it was beat him. I know that.
Well,
Anyway,
run again.
yeah, run again. Aren't the city elections coming up
You know
in
something?
2025?
Do you know what I'm hearing when I'm door knocking?
That I should run for something?
I haven't got that yet.
What are you hearing?
I'm hearing that they don't feel that when we transitioned from a city manager, from a strong mayor to a city manager, we did it right.
Okay.
And so, and I agree. What we should have done is you neuter the mayor down to like just a figurehead. You know, he shakes hands, he cuts ribbons.
So you want a eunuch mayor?
I would say Mike and I agreed on something last night, so I don't want to get on his bad luck. Mike Padilla.
Oh, okay.
Our mayor.
Okay.
But the thing is, we've got too many chefs in the kitchen. So
that usually doesn't work out.
No, it doesn't. And so the idea of having the city manager and going from a strong mayor to a city manager, and then what they did is they made the mayor more powerful than the council people. So right now, really, the person running the show ought to be the deputy mayor. So the deputy mayor sets the agenda, and then your mayor in this situation, he shouldn't even have a vote.
So your mayor is more of a figurehead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point of having a mayor then?
Just
sort of a city mascot.
Yeah, he makes a great mascot. They like him on Fox News.
Okay. Well, they like Padilla.
Yeah.
On Fox News.
Yeah.
How come?
Well, because they think he's bringing in all the illegal aliens here. Didn't you ever see that?
Oh, okay. So we're the next Springfield, Ohio.
They're eating the cats and the dogs.
Yeah. Gee whiz. Okay. So, back to this $167,000.
Yes, thank you, Jim. So he's now. So the thought that there was even discussion about it. That meeting, that whole meeting about just Jim taking over the RHID should have taken like 2 seconds.
Right.
Hey, he writes a check for 167. He's going to come forward with a plan.
Right.
Okay. You move on. And that's why, and because like the way I look at it, if he doesn't do it, if he doesn't do the project, well, I'm going to make sure that I think I could probably talk Bill and Aaron into this idea.
On the county commission.
Yes. Okay. Because I hope that Chris Kobach settles this matter and he analyzes it. But what was really totally funny is, and I'm going to pull it out of this, but what we have to do is we have to study the value of our community. And what has happened is the value of our community isn't up there. It doesn't keep pace with the population of our property or our cities. And the true problem, which nobody's really addressing, and we need to address, is the fact that people like Stormont Vale have 85 properties not on the tax rolls. We also bear the brunt of all the state office buildings and the city and county.
We've got 2 new buildings going up right on Topeka Boulevard.
Right. Well, we shouldn't.
And what's interesting,
we shouldn't own real estate as taxpayers or as government. We can sell these properties and lease them back. I can write leases that give you full control and ownership. We ought to sell all our garages and lease them back. We can. You can write leases to have control.
Okay, who's going to buy them?
Investors. Look how much money is out there that needs to be placed, and so these
these properties,
there's great value in government deals.
They would go back on the tax rolls.
Then they'll go on the tax rolls.
Actually, some of these properties never have been on the tax rolls.
They'll go on the tax rolls.
But
we've got to lead by example in the county and the city. And
we could do that.
Yeah, we can do it today. What a better way to broaden our tax base is to write leases and sell our assets. The investors love government deals because
they're long term.
Yeah, they're long term, and the taxpayers are going to have to pay.
So their returns are sort of written in. And
they're modest
over a long period of time.
Yeah. And you're right.
We got the federal government presence, we've got city government presence, and as you just mentioned, we have state government and
county government. And think about, I'm sure the MTAA.
Is all the medical tax free?
Yes.
The VA,
yes.
St. Francis.
Yes.
Then Stormont.
Yes. All tax free.
Oh boy.
So we've got to switch it up.
Yeah.
And what's nice, you're going to have the best leasing agent, the best commercial leasing person ever.
What, are we going to?
Henry McClure.
Oh, I thought you're, okay.
No, because thought
you were saying we were going to hire Mark Rizak. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, he's available? Is he on the line?
No. I'm sure that sooner or later he'll be watching this.
Oh, man, Rizak, I saw him yesterday.
What if we hired B.J. McGivern?
To do what?
To do that. Do all your.
Well, he can find the people that want to buy it. Hell, he can sell them to his dad.
A lot of these hapless.
His dad can buy up the city.
A lot of these hapless.
BJ can.
Let me finish this.
Hell, BJ's probably got the money.
A lot of these hapless residential real estate agents would really love to have one of their biggest competitors removed from the residential market.
I want to put them all to work.
Yeah,
I do. I want the Sunflower Board of Real Estate marketing that.
I can hear people saying, "Well, if BJ is going to work for the county, maybe that means I can get that listing over there on Wentley Lane."
Man, he's done a lot of deals.
Oh, he does. He
churns and burns.
Yeah.
What a good guy.
He's got more deals.
He can buy the deals.
He's got more deals than I had pimples when I was 17.
That's an ugly analogy. Well, good morning, everybody. What else you want to talk about? Okay. But you see my theory?
Well, your theory coincides with something that I noticed in the Wall Street Journal. Let's see, this was the weekend edition of the Wall Street Journal. I'll just
here. Do you want me to hold your camera for you?
I'll just show the headline here real quick. There are people who say that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac should be privatized. And
well, Dodd-Frank was supposed to regulate them, and then they didn't.
Right. And
Dodd-Frank changed my whole life to rotten.
Come on.
No, I'm serious. I used to be able to go out and buy real estate with nothing down.
Oh,
wow. Commercial real estate. When I was broke, I'd just go buy something.
Yeah, I guess that would apply to me as well.
Well, I could find a deal, put a tenant in there. It would have a positive cash flow. I could pull cash out at closing. But Dodd-Frank then required the 20%.
Gosh darn them anyway. Well,
but the commercial industry isn't what ruined. It wasn't the bubble.
It says here that, where does it say this? Yeah, the government stakes in Fannie and Freddie could be valued at hundreds of billions of dollars, could allow the government to sell more than $100 billion worth of securities in one fell swoop. That would top the biggest stock and bond offerings in history and require interest from the largest investors, including sovereign wealth funds. We don't need to get too deep into the weeds on this.
Well, that means
But,
BlackRock and Vanguard want to buy them.
well, let's see. Now that you mentioned hedge funds, this article goes on to say some prominent hedge fund investors have for years been pushing for Fannie and Freddie to be freed from government ownership. Depending on the plan, they could stand to profit handsomely. Bill Ackman's Pershing Square owns a roughly 10% stake in the common shares of both Fannie and Freddie. John Paulson, who's viewed as a potential pick for Treasury Secretary under Trump, owns a sizable investment in the preferred shares.
Wasn't Paulson the Secretary of the Treasury during the Big Short?
I think that was Henry.
Henry Paulson?
Yeah. John
name.
Paulson's a
relative.
I've never understood. I guess this is one of many reasons why I'm an obscure real estate agent in Topeka, Kansas, and not a big deal out there somewhere. I've never understood how these hedge funds work. Why is it that these hedge fund guys, who basically don't make anything, they just rake in all kinds of money? Doing what? I mean, I don't get it.
Well, buying companies. Have you ever seen the? There was a series on one of the channels called Billions.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's kind of interesting, but it really is an insight to how you can take control of companies. I mean, have you really looked at what BlackRock and Vanguard own?
No, I have not.
You ought to. That's your homework assignment for the next show.
BlackRock.
BlackRock and Vanguard.
No, is that Steven Schwartzman?
I don't know the names of the fellas. They're
Yeah.
not my coffee, but they're not my coffee people.
Oh well, I was kind of hoping they were, but yeah, we'll look into that. BlackRock and Vanguard. What do they own? I guess anymore the question might be, what don't they own?
That's exactly the point. They
Maybe they want to own real estate in Topeka. Maybe they would be the investors who would be interested in buying those government buildings that you might want to put
you
up
do
for
it all
sale.
in one fell swoop.
So what if
No, hang on a second.
what if
Here.
an
Let's go back.
Wait. What if an inquisitive reporter comes around and says, "Okay, Henry McClure, candidate for county commission, do you really have a plan to sell off the county buildings to private investors?"
Yeah, it's
Okay.
so simple.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, really, what you do is you just kind of figure out what you can pay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You make your own rent. You agree to what you're going to agree on. You know what you're going to maintain. So you write your future. You write your own future into the lease, and then you put a cap rate on what you're willing to pay to sell the building.
Well, if we could bring back that zero down stuff, I'm in. I'm all in for purchasing the new docking building.
Well, we're not doing that. We're doing it. We can't zero down. We're not. We're looking for the big guys. I'll sell you. And you know what we need to do is we need to just give away real estate. They ought to be marketing that just to give it away.
Yeah.
Look,
Is it still, who owns it now?
well, it's in the title of Go Topeka,
Oh,
which
I
I
see.
want to change.
Okay.
But we had my marketing campaign. Look at that. Planet Kansas, land here.
Planet Kansas, land here.
Yeah. You know, I spent a lot of money marketing this thing, and I wanted to be a part of the community. But Topeka chokes itself to death. They want to control who does it. You know, up until just a couple of months ago, there was a sign from a Kansas City company, and the Topeka Factor or Henry McClure Live shamed them into taking the sign down. You know, what
yeah.
I'm finding out is that our show's got a bigger reach than you know.
Yeah, we don't really show that many people. I guess the rebroadcast on the podcast.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, people everywhere I go, and I've had I'll be driving around. Hey, there's Henry McClure Live.
Well, Tobias was telling me last night that he was tuned in for a while last week.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. People might just flip it on for a few minutes on my Facebook Live feed or yours?
Hey, look, I don't look at myself as a big deal or a media mogul, but I do think what we're doing is we're taking some of the issues, the hard issues, and just talking about them bluntly.
Right. Yeah. As opposed to circuitous government public relations speak.
You know,
So speaking of circuitous,
yes, sir.
uh, I don't know whether we should talk about this or not, but I guess
Well,
I'm going to.
blurt it out.
We were noticing yesterday how quickly the new docking building is actually being built.
Oh my.
And so my question was, what
The
take,
docking building went up faster than the Pizza Hut deal. Is that what
well,
you want to say?
what takes longer, building a new 3-story office building or getting your Whataburger construction permit
Oh
approved
my.
by the city of Topeka, or your Pizza Hut construction
I
permit
am not
approved?
allowed right now at this point to talk about Whataburger
Oh,
at the request of the owner of the company.
okay.
But I could, I mean,
So
I sure as hell can talk about Pizza Hut
we got a media blackout
on,
on
yeah,
Whataburger.
it's not cool.
It's not.
No, but listen, but um, Benish, the engineering firm, is charging Topeka $1 million a year.
Now that was in the newspaper.
Yes, and we're going to try to get some more articles up about it. And think about it. And this is what they do. So, and this is the probably the main reason why Pizza Hut took so long. So, you submit you get a qualified engineer that's built, let's say, 100 Pizza Huts, right? In different communities. Well, he submits the drawings to Benish. Well, then Benish comes back with a mountain of changes. And then they go back and forth, and then the bill goes up to Benish. There's no common sense with Benish, and there's no oversight from the city. And really, what Rhiannon's going to have to do is she's going to have to clean house. You're going to have to, it's kind of like Joan Wagner was saying, out with the old, in with the new. And, I want to thank Joan for her support of me as a candidate. She has a street that's not really traveled, the road less traveled. But I've got a nice sign. She had it all weed whacked for me. I think she knew I was going to bring a big sign. But I love her. But she was the last true leader we had in this community before we changed the form of government. Name another person as prominent that showed leadership skills since you've been around. Name one.
I could not do that.
Better than Joan.
No. I mean, I really could not.
I can't think of a mayor. No, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, we had one former mayor that went to jail.
For what?
Well, that was a legal thing.
Well, that's usually what,
Yeah.
I'm not down there. I would go down to the jail. I would take a meeting to the jail.
But I'm trying to think, since her, who have we had? Button?
You know why I would go to the jail? Because I'd like to tell those people in jail, time is the most valuable asset you have. My new barber's out of jail.
That's not necessarily encouraging to somebody who is doing time.
Well, yeah,
so
but
to speak.
Well, no. So maybe you could motivate them to not want to come back.
You mean this asset I got that's going to be locked up for the next 15 years?
Well, no,
how's that an
not
asset?
in county. You're not going to get locked up that long in county.
Well,
my barber down there on Kansas Avenue.
Yeah.
Not my barber in Fairlawn Plaza. Had to change barbers during the election. I had to go to a barber in my district.
You're right.
But I need we got to trim the wings up here on this flat top. But he's been out for like 15 years.
Yeah, it's not too late for you to start a new hairstyle emulating Paulie Walnuts in The Sopranos.
Oh, Paulie. That was a good show. Tony Callum's in that.
Speaking of which,
Billy Pryor's wife.
Right, there's a new documentary on HBO, 2 parts, about it's called Wise Guys: The Making of the Sopranos, with a lot of insight into David Chase, the creator of the
I've
Sopranos.
got to read the book. I got the book, Paint Houses. Okay, now that we've gone to the mafia, let's switch. Let's switch it up. Let's
Well,
talk about your commercial listing.
the one thing about the mafia, real briefly, is they had a very brutal form of accountability, which is, if you don't do what you say you were going to do, like pay them back if you owe them money for a gambling debt, you might lose a few fingers, you might even lose your life.
Well,
And
and they had a funny thing. You know what they called
so
it when you stepped out of line? You got taxed.
you got taxed. Well, my point being that accountability is something, this current form of city government that we've had is, where's the accountability? When like a big news story comes out like the one you were talking about, blowing $1 million+ on some out of town consultant, uh, who pays for that?
We do.
But so where's the accountability? Who makes that
Yeah,
decision?
and on top of that, Braxton was asking for $600,000 more.
I mean,
Now,
if you went to the Savella family in the '70s and said,
where
"Hey,
are
Tony
they?
Ripe, that $1 million that you owe me for the highway project, I ain't got it." Uh,
Where's the Savelle family?
uh, I'm just saying that there. I'm not saying I
Hey,
believe in
can you
that.
get a campaign donation from
In that, I don't know if there's even any Savellas
That
still
was a
around,
joke.
but there was accountability, and it was very clear cut. The rules were very well established.
Back to the Roman Empire.
But what we have now is, do we have rules? What are the rules? Are they ever enforced? And when somebody screws up, who pays for it? I mean,
We do.
they they do.
That's what I told him last night. You ought to watch last night.
In some instances, someone gets fired if they've been embezzling, like that guy that disappeared. The what was the town that that guy was the clerk,
How much did
Peabody
he
or
get?
someplace, huh?
How much did he
Well, he
get?
got a lot of money and he kept getting fired, and finally, I think he killed himself. But that was in the news a couple
That
of
might
weeks
have been
ago.
arranged
But yeah, it could have
by the
been.
Savelles.
But what I'm saying is, where is the accountability? Other than instances of absolute blatant scandal like Menendez out there in New Jersey with
Oh,
all those
wait.
gold bricks in his closet.
Well, wait a minute. Let's talk about accountability. Let's talk about Steve Wade.
There you go. How much money did that guy get?
Well, and he buys hotels. I think he bought that hotel to have a place for his afternoon proclivities.
Ah, yeah. Uh, so now we've got the hotel.
Yeah, and they're going to have that hotel, and that's why I don't like the idea of a land bank.
And
I don't want the city of Topeka having a land bank.
and there was
There's no need to have a land bank.
there's been some discussion about hiring a real estate firm to market the
I'll
hotel,
do it for free. We'll
but
do it for free.
but
You can get paid, but I'll do it for free out of spite.
out of
And I
spite.
told him that last night.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I told him I'll do it for free. I'll market it for free. What's funny?
What was the response?
Well, they don't respond. Nobody flipped me off. Not physically, but Karen Hiller last night said, "Well, we're learning about this." I don't know how long she sat on that.
We're on a learning curve.
Yeah, and I go,
I like
"Oh,
that.
well, at least you guys are learning on a salary. When you're on this side of the fence, we're learning, at our own expense, trying to get a salary. They don't look at it. They don't look at it like from our side of the fence. We've got to push a deal across the finish line to get paid, and they're up there. Not that their salaries are that great, but she has sat up there for how long?
Yeah. Well, not to spend a lot of time promoting myself, but when it comes to structuring deals, I sold a house in Ottawa Saturday,
Good.
and the buyer was showing up at the title company yesterday with a check for the full amount. So we had like a 3-day closing window there.
I love it.
So I'm just saying, in terms of selling this hotel, give Henry and I a shot. We'll take care of it.
You can get paid. Look, I'm giving up my license here.
To paraphrase Robert Loggia in Lost Highway, give us a shot at selling that hotel. It'll be gone just like that.
So I'm going to give up my license upon being elected as a county commissioner.
Just like that.
So I want to help my brethren. Think about it. 740 real estate people in this community.
But wait a minute.
What?
Let's be real.
No, let's be real, because here's the point. I want to make one point. I want to make one point.
Of that 740,
they might know somebody.
You run into the old adage.
No.
20% of the people do 80%.
10%. So 10% do 90%. But anyway, what I'm saying is,
I thought it was 15% do.
Well, what I'm saying is, one guy clear over there, who maybe did one deal, he knows somebody, that owns a company. See, we've got to start getting new money to this town. We've got to attract new businesses where people move into the town. We're self-dealing with all our own people and all our own friends, but we're not growing the population. We got to get it. The first deal that we do that's big, that people move 100 people here and build something, that's the deal we need to.
And, it occurs to me, this is just a thought.
You want to hear the other good idea? Go ahead.
This is just a thought.
Hear it.
But when you hear about these companies moving out of California into Texas, why can't we do something like that?
Yeah, you give them the land.
Because actually, if you stop and think about it, Texas is probably not going to be a very hospitable place to live because of climate change. You've got cities like San Antonio that they're broiling every summer now, and really
they weren't broiling before.
There's big. This was written up in the Wall Street Journal. There's a big suburb, Kyle, Texas, which has like 150,000 people living in it. That town is completely out of water, and barring right now we're kind of in a little mini drought ourselves, but.
I'm not. You want me to go get you water?
I'm saying that Kansas, Topeka, eastern Kansas in particular, eastern Kansas, Topeka, we could be promoting ourselves to some of these population centers where people are starting to see the writing on the wall. They're like, maybe I need to get out of here. Well, I can still get out of here. While property values are still high, maybe I need to sell my little 3-bedroom bungalow in San Bernardino for $750,000 and go to a place like Topeka where I can get a nice house for $300,000 or $200,000.
Real estate
and
developers.
What you're saying is, in order to accommodate this, we need to grow the tax base. We need to bring in more employers. And so back to that piece of ground.
Yeah.
What's the zoning there?
Light industrial, but as the city of Topeka goes, they'll make it to whatever you want.
Sure. Yeah, we can change the zoning.
Yeah.
Right. Want to say hi to Bob up there in the Motor City?
Hey, Big Bob.
So
we just need to take a different approach.
So
what I'm saying is, the Go Topeka's had 18 years. You're fired.
Yeah, right. You've only had the listing for 18 years.
Yeah, you had the listing for 18 years. You're fired.
Hey, I've never had.
I want to give it to B.J. McGivern and all your crew.
I've never had a listing for 18 months, much less 18 years.
I kind of like the way you do things. You get a listing, you focus on it, you sell it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't try to do too many listings.
Well, and that's smart. And I've taken on,
but that's because,
with commercial, you've got to take on more.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of work to do. In fact, from a personal standpoint, I'm doing more business. I got more stuff to do than I've ever had before. And I need help.
He needs help.
I do.
Help Henry.
Help. Hey.
What's the phone number? Call the Help Henry hotline. It's 785
383-9994.
That
Hey,
reminds me of those ads they used to run, these greasy ads in Kansas City radio. Please be kind to Frank Ancona. Please be kind to Frank Ancona.
why is it greasy?
They were greasy ads, trust me.
Just why?
Or my other favorite ad was the guy who had the car dealership, Bill Allen, like his nickname was his name.
Bill Allen?
Bill Allen. I think it was a Chevy dealership.
Well,
these ads had run on WHB. Please be kind to Frank Ancona.
And who did they have out in L.A. in his dog spot? You know, Cal Worthington?
Oh, that guy. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, hey, I got one other idea.
Okay.
Let me lay this on you guys this morning. I want to ground lease the expo center.
Meaning?
I want to find somebody that comes in to pay to run it.
Okay.
Why
would they do that?
To make money.
So.
And then we get it on the tax rolls.
Right now, the expo center is owned by the county, correct?
Right.
And there's some kind of partnership involving the hospital. You mentioned.
Right.
They're paying, I guess, they're paying for branding?
Yeah, they paid some money. I haven't dug into the expo center like I've dug into this, but I'm gonna. That's the next thing.
Well, I mean, I got to tell you.
I can tell you this, that I do know that there's a plan. You know, we always do these plans, then never, we don't follow them. But the manor and the ag hall and the little place, we ought to have those all leased. But I can tell you that circus deal that we did, they went to the expo center and couldn't do it. And plus, I've got information about.
Did we ever find a place for the circus?
Yeah, we did. The circus is coming to town.
And where's it going to be?
It's going to be out by Forbes Golf Course.
Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna do some marketing. The Topeka Factor actually will have tickets to the show because we'll do marketing for them.
All right.
We got to get on that. That's one of the next things we got to do.
And when is the circus?
I got to get all the dates and times.
Okay.
But it's going to be like Circus. It's called Circus d'Italia.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
like Cirque Soleil.
Yeah, Circus d'Olay.
Okay.
And this guy's a real creative guy. But we need to develop around our assets like the Expo Center. And we need to, it says right in the study, you got to have more restaurants and bars and more activities right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem, what they did was they renovated, you're supposed to renovate a project like that from the inside out. And they renovated from the outside in.
Of course they did.
Yeah, because the guys doing it didn't know what they're doing.
Let's say hi to Ed Carmona.
Hello, Ed Carmona.
We have viewers kind of trickling in on my Facebook Live.
Well, that's fine. We love you.
Half of our viewers are actually from Detroit at this point.
Half of them?
Yeah.
So you got Ed and Bob.
Bob and Matt.
Well, anyway, let's talk about marketing the church.
Okay, it does say homes. This is an article that came out in Tuesday's paper to sort of provide a framework for this discussion. Newly released data from Realtor.com for August shows that potential buyers and sellers in Shawnee County saw houses sell for higher than the previous month's median sales price of $214,687. The median home sold for $223,416. Now that can be affected by the sale of a couple of, really expensive homes. So that can be somewhat deceptive, but it shows that sales prices of single-family homes are doing pretty well still. Some agents are saying it's starting to soften a little bit, but is it today that the Fed talks about interest rates?
I think so.
I think today is the day.
I think today's the day.
Do we see 0.25 or do we see 0.50?
0.50.
So this in the context of the residential market, we have this exciting opportunity on the corner of Huntoon and Medford, which has been the Orthodox church now for several years.
Yes, many years.
And it's really a beautiful building that would make a really trippy kind of a single-family residence for somebody.
And I've got I've got the as-built plans, as built. So it's as is, where is. I've got the plans. Brian Falk is working for the church on their new place. Brian Falk is very excited about working on converting that into a home. Have you ever done any deals with Brian?
I have not.
He's a good guy. He's helped me put together some plans. He helped me put together plans on the performance center downtown that I want to turn into housing. And he put together some preliminary plans out on the Gordman's building when we were going to do storage, until, we were just running out of things to do till Mainline finally stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, by the way, if you're out and about looking at my signs, or if you see my election signs, Mainline Printing did all those signs, and I didn't get.
Those are good looking signs.
Yeah, I know, and they didn't cost a lot of money. The single signs were $70. The 4x8s were $70, and the 4x4s were all $34. Good value, and so for $70, you can get a 4x8 sign, slap it up, and don't worry about it. I used to spend so much money on my signs, but I needed durable signs because the commercial listings, I had I actually had the Pizza land listed for over 20 years. I really did. It took probably 20 years. That sign sat there for 20 years.
On Southeast 29.
Yeah, all signs. Thank you. Thank you, all signs.
That building, by the way, is just about done, I think.
Yeah, look at that.
It took you 2 years to get the permit, and it took them about 2 months to build the building once they got the permit.
And so the impact, just guesstimate, is $50,000 a year to the tax base.
Oh, really?
Yeah. $50,000 a year.
Mm. Yeah.
But I couldn't get help from Topeka. Molly said, well, that doesn't create jobs.
Well, so, okay. It doesn't create jobs, but
it creates the tax base. I mean, what's that money for? It's for her salary.
Yeah. Do
you think I have resentments against that?
It sounds like it. You would think there'd be, something taken into account about an increased sales tax revenue from a drive-through as opposed to sit down and.
The money was to broaden the tax base and increase the population.
But let's get back on our church building.
Yes, let's talk about the church. So when you go look at the church, you can't go back behind the relics.
Oh, we're talking about the altar.
Yeah, the altar.
Is that called the narthex or is that called the nave?
That's the altar.
Well, I mean,
it's within
the part of the church that people actually sit in while they're worshiping. That's called what? Is that the narthex or the nave?
The nave is outside. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So the narthex.
And I should know that. I'm an ecumenical minister.
That could be like, I don't know how many square feet that is.
For the Episcopal Church. Yeah. I can give you your last communion.
Well,
I'm licensed.
Okay. Well, this raises now the point I'm going to make.
If I'm doing that for you, I'd have a sip of wine.
The point I'm trying to make is that somewhat contrary to our discussion about the tax base, is that actually, if you wanted to buy this as a residence and then end up having a tax-free residence, it's a church building. You could do something like, okay, I'm going to be an ordained minister in the First Church of the Dude, which actually exists. You can look it up on Facebook. You can look it up online.
Look, we're here to get more properties on the tax base.
Well,
but technically, you could ground lease it from the church.
I'm trying to appeal to possible ways of somebody seeing the economic sense of owning this, or you could become a universal life minister.
You could ground lease it from the church today.
Yeah.
and
All right.
avoid real estate taxes.
I think I'm still an ordained universal life minister because some people, Ron and Angelique, wanted me to preside over a wedding for them, and
Are they still married?
well, it wasn't them. It was her daughter and her fiance, and we had a nice wedding ceremony in Arrowhead Stadium.
Wow!
I bet you didn't know you could do that.
During a game?
It was not during a game, but we could look out over the field and see.
Do you know who I'll get on the show? Willie Lanier.
Okay.
I think
So
I could get
anyway,
Willie
I'll just
Lanier
say,
on the
with,
show.
Let's say you have a $300,000 house or a $400,000 house. Your property taxes in Shawnee County are going to be probably in the vicinity of $3,500, $4,000 a year, right? But if you're an ordained minister and you say, okay, this is the First Church of the Dude, with a little sign out front, you know.
Okay, we digress.
No, I'm not digressing. I'm saying this is a possible way that somebody.
I'm trying to get property on the tax rolls. Now I got some religious fanatic over here trying to keep them off.
Hey, I'm just doing the Lord's work, Henry.
Amen.
This is my.
Amen. I'll amen to that.
This is just another way to possibly.
I have
sell the
never
building.
I have never felt in so long in my life that I'm at the right place where I should be doing what I need to be doing.
Running for the county commission.
I really do. Look at all the towns I've lived in. Look at all my life experience. I've lived a full life,
Right.
and I ain't going anywhere.
So this church building, we proposed a list price of $299,000. I don't know for a fact.
I did get a note back from Father Nikolai that on the Crexy site, lower it to $350. I'm not sure that it isn't, but I'll do it.
Yeah. So we'll hear back hopefully sometime today on that proposed list price. But look at it this way: you buy the building, then you spend a little money turning it into residential.
Yeah.
But you maintain enough space, open space.
No.
Everybody likes an open floor plan. So,
oh, I do.
So you've got your open floor plan narthex with a few folding chairs that could be.
Hey, it's like Vegas. 24-hour marriages.
24-hour services at the First Church of the Dude. We're never closed.
You get a limo outside a bar. Hey, you guys want to get married? Take them over to the church.
We're the church equivalent
How
of
long?
the Hotel California. You can join, but you can never leave.
How long is it going to take before we put a casino in Topeka? Because
I don't know.
Because that's what it's going to take to bail this town out.
Well,
we ought to have how do we get the lottery to pay our
casino?
real estate taxes?
Yeah. Well,
it's a voluntary tax, right?
That's a sticky question right there. You want a casino in Topeka?
I want horses.
A horse track.
Parimutuel betting. But we got to do something. Let's sell this. Let's sell this church.
Let's sell
at
the
market. Is as whereas you can. I've talked with Mike Hall down at the city. We can get a garage added to it.
First we sell the church, then we build the casino.
How does that go in Scarface? First you get the money, then you get the power, and then you get the women.
I tell you what, sports fans, we have the concept of a plan here on the Topeka Factor.
But we're going to get the church deal done first.
Doing the church deal first. This is Huntoon and Medford. The common address, I believe, is 2916 Huntoon. But it's a beautiful building.
Huntoon and Medford.
And it would really make an awesome
house,
residence, or studio.
It'd make a great art studio.
Somebody who's in
an artist.
Or music.
Yeah. I mean, somebody that wanted the creative class.
And we're not going to...
A writer.
We're not going to eliminate the possibility of another church wanting it. In other words...
Well, no, I mean, but you got to walk to work.
Yeah.
We don't have any parking. That's why we're moving out on Adams.
An established church could maybe buy this for use as a neighborhood chapel. You understand?
I
what
don't
I'm
care
saying?
who
A
buys
neighborhood chapel
I'm gonna go talk
with a few slot machines.
We ought to go talk to Jim Clausman.
Yeah. A neighborhood chapel with a few slots and a dance floor. That's a concept of a plan.
Let's talk about something I like, commercial real estate.
Okay.
Let's talk about 10th in Kansas.
10th in Kansas.
Yeah, 10th in Topeka.
I was going to say.
What are we going to put there?
10th in Kansas.
We got 5,560 feet, right?
Yeah, you'd mentioned Billy Pryor earlier. I want to say hi to Mary Jane and
Hey.
happy birthday to Mary Jane.
Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mary Jane. Happy birthday to you.
To you.
And many more. I love you, Mary Jane.
There were claims made that she was 90.
Who cares? Just keep having the birthdays.
Not so sure that she isn't actually 75-ish. Looks a lot younger.
Doesn't matter to me. Just keep having them.
Yeah. So
I love birthdays.
Good to have Mary Jane.
Oh man, it's a friend of mine's birthday. I promised her some gifts.
Yeah.
I gotta fulfill. I totally would have forgot.
On the level of personal accountability, that stuff's real. So
She wanted cookies.
10th in Topeka.
So I'm going to God's Storehouse to get the cookies. Yes.
I've got some records I want to donate to God's Storehouse. Do they sell records over there?
I don't know.
Huh?
Let's bring them in here. Why don't we play them on our? We got a turntable.
Yeah.
We're going to start a record agency. I mean, we're going to start a radio station in here.
You know what? I'm going to have to drop off for a second here because I've got Schindel Pest Control up north.
Calling you?
Yeah.
Or you got to go to the meeting?
No, they're calling me.
Okay. Well,
I dropped the ball on something up there.
Well, tell your viewers goodbye.
So I'm going to have to ring off for a few minutes.
All right.
Come back. But 10th in Topeka.
Well, we're going to sign off on all channels and come back on when he's done.
Okay.
We'll talk about we'll talk about your listing. I'm going to leave YouTube running because it doesn't cost anything.
I'll be right back. I forgot about the fact that I've got Schindel up there at the townhomes.
All right, get on it.
I forgot to notify everybody. So,
oops.
I got to do this and then I got to make a call.
All right, YouTube. He's doing that. I'll do this. Enter McClure Live.